you. I'm very shallow. All I do is talk about people's hair.
Jeez.
Those are good, though. Can I see them again?
Sorry, ignore the legs.
Get those.
They were at a place called Opitz in Minneapolis.
Damn
They're
it.
half a
Never
size
got
different,
there.
so they're a little.
Oh.
They were really cheap.
I love metallic slippers.
Mm-hmm.
They make me feel like a special princess.
Kind of like your heels. They're shiny.
Yeah.
So cute. I did not want to fix
All right. You want me to?
Yeah, you started it.
Julia, you're the director Nancy chooses based on choose. You've already started?
Yeah?
I mean, I do that. Okay.
You've already started what?
Recording.
Oh, recording. I see.
Okay. So the show that I've submitted is Neighborhood 3. You guys have all read the plot summary,
Mm-hmm.
right? Synopses. Cool. All right. So basically, why I think it's kind of a perfect timing for the piece is because it's about zombies and video games and how the lines between actual reality and virtual reality begin to blur. And it lands in our time slot right on October 26th and 27th, right before zombies become all the rage around Halloween time. And so I said, if we could just maybe promote it around the quad, the BSC, and the student center, things of that nature, then I don't think selling tickets would be our issue. I think that'd be kind of cool as, kind of a promo event for APO and the theater department in the whole. That's just my take on the very first step towards doing this show. Technically wise, costumes are modern day contemporary. They don't have a lot of special requirements. I think the most difficult thing might be a velour jogging suit for one of the mother figures. Other than that, lights especially, I've been in coordination with Mark Wilson's Intro to Design class, and so he's asked each of his students to go through each of the elements of design and to come up with concept ideas for them, and so they've put them all on this page, so I have, endless storyboards about kind of imagery and ideas that can be evoked for the feel of the show around the studio theater. And right now the design that I'm leaning towards for the set it's under Mark Wilson's. I'll show you guys his research. It's really kind of cool. What it is as the audience walks in, the layout of the Black Box Theater remains the same, yet we have 3 LCD panel screens aimed towards the audience, just lifted above the action of the play that become integral during the transitions, so that there's no downtime. It's kind of just a continuous hour, 15-hour and a half show, so that it's a non-stop action. And then if I can find Mark's video, there's an actual walkthrough that he's created for it. Mark Wilson's actually already designed this once for Hot City, which is kind of really cool. I don't know if I can find it here. He's got all of his research in one place. Anyways, it doesn't matter for now. You can see it later. I'll share it with you guys with the video. Other things, character breakdown. It requires 4 character actors, 2 male, 2 female. I say character actor because they're responsible for a multitude of characters each. So 1 actress is required to play all of the daughter/girl type figures in the script who interact with other characters played by members of the cast. So they're broken down into father-like
4 altogether?
4 actors play 13 characters. So, and they're types essentially. So father type, mother type, daughter type, son type. And in each scene we get a different pairing. So a mother type might come across a daughter type, mother type, son type, so on and so forth. So essentially, an actress would be responsible for all of the daughter type figures throughout the entire play. And it's kind of a fun exercise of acting technique to have to come up with distinct characters that instantly the audience is capable of seeing a different human walk into the space. Even though it's being portrayed by the same person, the way that they are able to handle themselves will give us a completely different feel for each story. Neighborhood 3 is broken down into almost chapters. It's 13 different chapters. You never see another character twice throughout the show. And so the storyline goes, essentially we're introduced to these characters that have been forming a habit playing this video game that takes a picture map of their neighborhood and then implants it into the video game world. And the whole mission that they're on in the video game is killing zombies that eerily resemble their neighbors and parents. And it's up for debate. I would look into it towards the end of the rehearsal process at what the last scene actually is. And probably during table talk we discuss it. If it is actually the ultimate level of having to kill their parents, or is it just a harder to kill zombie? It could be anything across the spectrum. That's what I've got thus far. The set is very basic. Upstage facade of the house. We're just given a general idea of a cookie cutter like neighborhood where the houses all look the same. Just a street plot layout you'd see in a suburban neighborhood. Props are minimal. There are some specialty props, a golf club, hedging scissors, and garden gnome. Of the like, the killing weapons are what they are. I know. There's, any amount of blood that can be used on the stage is up for grabs and discussion. So that's always fun
How
to
long
talk
is it?
about. An hour and 15, hour and 20.
No intermission.
Probably not. I mean, there could be. The scenes, each of the stories are broken up by a voiceover walkthrough that I was going to accompany with kind of a camera on top, an action cam, whatever they're called. Mark Wilson knows the actual name of it. He was going through it with me. But essentially, it's like what you see on BMX bike riders or
Like the
surfers.
GoPros.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's right. And you would just see them walk through the actual space in the theater and then what would appear to be kill another character as the walkthrough's going through. And the walkthroughs, I
So
have
there'd be
recorded.
projections?
They're, well, not projections, but the video components would be using the same program software. I have on my phone a recording of when I did this for directing class. I used Katie Keating as my voice.
The house you want is third from the left as you face the cul-de-sac. All the houses look the same. Be careful. Move toward the house slowly. You
And
will hear
with this,
the
you're
sound of your
walking with the
footsteps in
gamer, the
street.
GoPro cam is
Do not
moving.
walk too fast. As you approach the house, you will see it on the sidewalk, a claw hammer. Pick this up. You will need it later. Like all other houses, this house will have a fresh-colored brick facade and a welcome mat in front of the door. Hint, if you kneel down and take a closer look at this mat, you will see the word welcome becomes help me. Enter the house. On your right is a set of saloon doors. Push through these and enter the kitchen. Wonder of the world.
And that's Nancy Bell with your voice
that was
recording
weird.
for the promo for Wonder of the World. It's right in the little other files of recordings. So essentially the action moves from lights out on stage with live action and the audiences in their respective sections, house left, center house, and house right, their attention's drawn up to LCD panels where they watch the walkthrough leading them into the next live action scene. Then the lights reestablish the setting. The set's very minimal.
So it sounds like there's a lot of mixed media involved, and I'm assuming you're going to be really involved with that. I mean, is that going to be pretty much all you, or do you have somebody else in mind that could help design this?
I have the team of designers, Katie San Roman, Martin Moran, and Austin Beals are interested in working with the show. I'm thinking Katie San Roman's probably interested in lights and projections, while Austin's more interested in the costume development as well as props. So I have a team of designers, and it's kind of cool that this intro design class, Mark assigned them this project, knowing that I was willing to submit it for an APO show, whatever it boils down to, and it was kind of cool that they've been living with the script for this entire semester, coming up with these design concepts. I've been meeting with them as well every other Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. for their class before I go off to my finance class and talking about, what it is, table talk with the director and designers. And
So it's practically like you've already directed the show just with designers.
right, it's just it's just not been materialized.
Yeah, you just don't have like actors saying lines.
You got it.
How did you become aware of this play?
I was looking last project in directing, and I couldn't find anything that was like avant-garde. It wasn't different from anything else I had been doing. I had done, Glass Menagerie. I had my comedy scenes, both contemporary and classical pieces, and I wanted something just very avant-garde, cutting edge. And Mark Wilson recommended this piece, and he had the PDF from working on it earlier, and so I read through it and said, all right, I'm willing to try it. So I had Kevin and Katie in my cast, and I went with it. It was 10-minute scene. You heard Katie's walkthrough. That opened up the very first scene. And then I had them play the son type, daughter type in the opening of the show. And it was fun. I mean, it was really completely different because the dialogue is even written, it's kind of cool for a script because it's almost like a chat window. It just has the character's name, colon, and like pop-up of what they're like talking about in like a, I am, an instant messenger,
That's cool.
Yeah. It was hard to read at first. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah. This sounds like a big commitment show. Like, it's...
It is. I mean, it's
Need a lot of
analyzing.
time.
Mm-hmm.
The actors will be responsible for analyzing the most subtle changes in some of the characters and having to create vast differences between people that you only have their chat conversations to go off of and their speech patterns to develop entire characters around them. So it has to be, very creative process throughout. They cannot be confusing as to one to one.
What kind of rehearsal time are you looking at then? With all of the elements with
With
technology
the other shows,
involved?
it would be right from the week off of the first show through strike week into the rehearsal process of the second show, and then it would open that 26th and 27th with the prior week being the tech week
So like 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
in there. Other questions? No? All right. I'll cut us here.
You pretty much spelled this out for us.